The frontier dawn is a quiet breath, soft light spilling over vast, empty plains, a moment suspended between night's lingering chill and the day's relentless heat. Here, in this fragile morning hush, the saloon waits like a patient sentinel, doors closed but ready to awaken with the clatter of boots, the laughter of strangers, and the steady murmur of survival's ancient song. This building, weathered and worn, is more than timber and nails. It is a refuge, a place where the wildness of the land meets the fragile order of human community. Before the first patrons stumble through those doors, before the first cups of bitter coffee or fiery whiskey are poured, the saloon holds its breath, suspended in the liminal space between silence and life. It is a place where stories begin and end, where faces worn by wind and hardship find momentary respite beneath the flickering glow of oil lamps. And so, as the sun climbs slowly, the saloon stands ready, a heart waiting to beat once more in the vastness of the untamed West. The saloon doors swing open with a creak, a sound that echoes with the weight of countless arrivals, departures, and the stories carried between. Stepping inside is like crossing a threshold, not just of wood and dust, but of time itself. The air is thick with smoke and the lingering aroma of roasted beans and burnt biscuits. The murmur of voices rises and falls, a living tapestry woven from laughter, whispered confidences, and the occasional sharp edge of conflict. The saloon is a crossroads of lives. Miners whose hands bear the dust of mountains, cowboys whose boots know the endless trail, drifters chasing dreams or fleeing ghosts. Every face tells a story, every gesture is a fragment of history carved into flesh and bone. Here, beneath the low beams and flickering lanterns, survival wears many masks, and the fragile dance of community unfolds in the glow of fire and spirit. Behind the smoke and clang of dishes, the saloon cook holds court, the unsung monarch of the frontier kitchen. His realm is fire and iron, pots blackened by flame, and ingredients chosen with the keen eye of a survivalist. Beans, salt pork, tough biscuits, and whatever wild game fate provides, these are his tools, his kingdom. His hands move with practiced certainty, conjuring sustenance from scarcity, alchemy born of hardship and necessity. The cook battles hunger, fatigue, and the unpredictable whims of the frontier. Yet in every ladleful of stew, in every crusty biscuit, there is a silent oath, a promise that even here, in this wild place, nourishment and care still hold sway. He is a keeper of life, a quiet guardian of hope, standing between chaos and calm, between want and plenty. The stew simmers slowly, a bubbling cauldron of sustenance and stories. It is more than food, it is memory and ritual, the mingling of flavors that whisper of distant farms, hard labor, and fleeting moments of peace. Each bean softened by fire holds the echo of rain on prairie soil. Each morsel of pork carries the weight of preservation and care. The stew is the saloon's hearth, its steady heartbeat, nourishing bodies wearied by sun and dust. Around its rim, conversations rise and fall, and strangers become comrades in the silent communion of shared hunger and fleeting warmth. To taste the stew is to touch the frontier itself, rugged, honest, and unyielding, yet capable of quiet grace. Biscuits, simple, humble, and rugged, are the quiet companions to the stew and salt pork. Baked from flour that traveled great distances, mixed with water and a pinch of salt, these biscuits bear the marks of a world both hard and hopeful. They crumble easily, dry and tough, but in their brittle texture lies a story of endurance, of hands shaped by toil, of kitchens lit by flickering flames. To break a biscuit is to break bread with the frontier itself, a small act of defiance against hunger, a ritual of survival carried out day after day. In every crumb is the taste of patience, of persistence, of life pressed hard against the edge of scarcity. Coffee, bitter, black, and sharp, wakes the weary in the early hours, a liquid torch lighting the way through long, hard days. Its dark aroma curls through the saloon like a whispered promise, of alertness, of focus, of momentary reprieve from the relentless grind. The coffee is boiled hard, strong enough to jolt the spirit, sometimes muddy, sometimes burnt, but always necessary. It is the quiet companion to dawn's chill and the relentless march of work ahead. With each sip, it fuels the frontier's slow awakening, reminding those who drink that the day's trials await and must be met with steady eyes and steady hands. Whiskey, fiery, golden, and unforgiving, is the pulse of the saloon, the spark that ignites camaraderie and conflict alike. It is medicine, lubricant, and ritual, a companion for celebration and sorrow. A shot of whiskey can warm the body when frost bites deep, can dull pain that words cannot touch, can loosen tongues burdened with secrets and regrets. But whiskey is also fire, dangerous and wild, stoking tempers, sparking brawls, turning friends to foes beneath the flickering light. It carries the weight of frontier life, hard, harsh, and deeply human, an elixir of survival and reckoning in equal measure. The menu is brief, honest, and unpretentious. No delicate dishes, no frills. Beans, salt pork, biscuits, coffee, and whiskey, the pillars of frontier sustenance. Each item tells a story of scarcity and practicality, of preservation and supply, of taste sacrificed to necessity. This menu is a map of survival, a ledger of hard choices made daily in the face of unforgiving conditions. Yet beneath its simplicity lies a complex dance of economy and culture, where every coin counts and every meal carries the weight of another day lived. The saloon's true wealth lies in its patrons, faces weathered by wind and sun, hands calloused by work and worry. Here sit miners, cowboys, gamblers, settlers, drifters, all seeking warmth, food, drink, and connection. Each carries a story etched in lines and scars, in eyes that have seen both beauty and brutality. They come for respite, for companionship, for a moment's escape from the endless demands of frontier life. In their quiet gatherings, the saloon becomes more than a place. It becomes a fragile, beating heart of community. As evening falls, the saloon transforms, from a place of hunger and toil to a sanctuary of sound and light. The rickety piano begins its uneven melody, a song stitched from hope and memory, from joy and sorrow. Patrons lean in, some tapping toes, others swaying gently, as the music weaves its spell. The saloon becomes a stage where life's dramas play out. Love and loss, laughter and tears, friendship and rivalry, all bound together by the steady pulse of human connection. Here, in the smoky amber glow, the frontier's harsh edges soften, if only for a moment, into something tender and true. Behind the saloon's walls, the kitchen breathes in bursts of heat and smoke, its rhythm wild and relentless. Here, chaos and creation dance together. Fire meets iron, steam rises thick and hot, and the cook moves like a conductor, orchestrating sustenance from meager means. The kitchen is a forge of survival, where every clatter of pan and splash of broth speaks to the raw urgency of frontier life. With every turning biscuit and stirring of stew, the cook fights time and scarcity, chasing the fragile line between hunger and hope. It is a place of rough artistry, sweat slicked and fierce, where life itself is measured in ladlefuls and scraps. The food is honest, but harsh, scars on the palate carved by necessity rather than choice. Biscuits are dry, their crumb brittle and unforgiving. Stew is thick with salt and grit, the flavor shaped as much by preservation as by palate. Salt pork, though prized, carries the sting of brine and fat that lingers long after the last bite. These tastes are echoes of a world where survival takes precedence over pleasure, where every morsel is a small victory won against a landscape that offers little freely. Yet within these rough edges lies a kind of beauty, a testament to endurance, to the human capacity to find comfort in the hard and the simple. Whiskey is the saloon's secret ingredient, a spirit with many faces and even more purposes. It warms cold fingers stiff with frost. It numbs the ache of lonely hearts and bruised bodies. It lubricates conversations, sparks tempers, and binds strangers in fleeting fellowship. Whiskey is medicine and poison, friend and foe. It carries the weight of frontier nights, wild, unpredictable, and raw. Each sip is a small surrender, a momentary crossing into a world where pain softens and courage kindles. In whiskey, the frontier finds its voice, bold, unvarnished, and deeply human. Often unseen but never absent, women shaped the saloon's rhythm and refuge. Behind bars and tables, they worked with steady hands and keen eyes, serving drinks, mending spirits, navigating a world often rough and unkind. Some were wives and mothers, carrying the weight of family beneath worn aprons. Others were entertainers, their laughter a fragile armor against hardship. Their strength was quiet but fierce, a steady current beneath the saloon's surface chaos. In their stories lie the untold truths of frontier life, the endurance of heart and spirit that kept communities tethered in the wild's vast embrace. Music spills through the saloon like liquid light, rough fiddles and hammered pianos stitching moments of joy and release. The dance is a language without words, a reckless, joyful surrender to rhythm and chants. Boots stamp, laughter rings, and bodies move, if only for a few moments, beyond the weight of hunger and hardship. Here, the saloon's soul unfolds, a flicker of beauty amid grit, a fragile celebration of life's stubborn flame. For a few fleeting hours, pain is forgotten, and the wildness is tamed by song and step. Chance is the currency of the frontier, rolled in dice, dealt in cards, and wagered in whispered bets. Poker tables hold stories of fortune won and lost, of hopes built on a single hand and shattered in a breath. Dice clatter with the music of risk and reward, the sharp edge of luck's fickle favor. In these moments, the saloon becomes a stage for fate itself, a place where courage is tested, secrets are kept, and dreams are spun from thin air. To play is to gamble not just money, but the fragile promise of tomorrow. Beneath the saloon's flickering light lies a thin and fragile line, the boundary between order and chaos. Fists fly, voices rise, and tempers flare, breaking the tenuous peace with bursts of raw, primal force. Violence is a language here, spoken with bruises and broken glass, with sharp eyes and quicker hands. Yet even amid turmoil, the saloon holds its shape, an arena where survival depends on knowing when to strike, when to yield, and when to walk away. This dance of danger and restraint mirrors the wild land itself, beautiful, brutal, and endlessly unpredictable. The bartender is more than a server of drink, he is the keeper of secrets, the silent witness to countless tales. His hands polish glasses while his mind listens, absorbing whispered confessions, quiet grief, and fleeting joys. He balances hospitality and authority, smoothing tempers and fueling stories with equal care. In this liminal space between shadow and light, he is the saloon's steady heartbeat, the quiet guardian of its fragile community. Beyond sustenance, the saloon is a gathering place, a hearth where bonds are forged in dust and fire. Here, strangers become friends, enemies find truce, and communities stitch themselves together from the ragged threads of shared hardship. Stories are exchanged over chipped mugs and worn plates, tales of home, loss, love, and survival. The saloon is both refuge and stage, a fragile island of connection amid the wild vastness. It is in these moments of fellowship that the true spirit of the frontier reveals itself, a spirit of resilience, hope, and human warmth. As the night wanes, the saloon exhales, a slow, tired breath drawn beneath fading lantern light. Chairs scrape, doors close, and the last murmurs dissolve into silence. The fire's glow softens, smoke curls upward, and the weight of the day settles into stillness. In this quiet aftermath, the saloon becomes a memory, echoes of laughter, pain, and fleeting joy hanging softly in the air. Tomorrow, the dance will begin anew, life returning once more to this fragile hearth on the edge of the wild. And so the saloon waits, patient and enduring, a steadfast heart beating against the vast silence of the frontier. The journey to the saloon is a passage through dust and time, hooves pounding on cracked earth, the endless horizon stretching before the weary traveler. Each step along the trail carries the weight of 1,000 stories, of hope and hardship, of roads taken and those left behind. The saloon is a beacon on the edge of wilderness, a promise of shelter, warmth, and the fleeting comfort of human company. For those who arrive, it is a gateway from solitude to shared existence, a place where the wild can be momentarily tamed by laughter, firelight, and the steady rhythm of conversation. With the iron tracks came change, an unstoppable tide rolling across the land, reshaping towns, economies, and lives. The saloon, once a rough refuge, found itself woven into the new world of railroads and commerce. Where once the frontier whispered, now the clang of steel and the rush of travelers filled the air. Saloons grew larger, livelier, houses of business and pleasure, reflecting the restless spirit of a nation on the move. Yet beneath the surface, the heart of the saloon remained, a place where the old world met the new, and survival still demanded its gritty price. The food that sustained the saloon's patrons was a fragile thread stretched across vast distances, supplied by precarious trade routes, wagon trains, and the sweat of distant farmers. Salt pork traveled weeks by wagon, beans were packed tight and dry, flour ground and shipped with care. Every item bore the scars of travel, dust, heat, and uncertainty, yet arrived as a promise of nourishment and survival. Behind every meal lay a web of effort and endurance, a testament to the human will to tame the wild through connection and supply. In the frontier's lawless stretches, the saloon was more than a place to drink. It was a theater of justice and order. Sheriffs and deputies often found themselves here, mediating disputes, maintaining a fragile peace amid the clamor. Barroom brawls could swiftly turn to trials by fist or word, where honor and survival intertwined. The saloon was both refuge and arena, a crucible where the rules of society were forged, challenged, and upheld. It bore witness to the complex dance between freedom and control on the edge of civilization. The frontier was a meeting place of worlds, where indigenous knowledge and foods mingled with settler traditions. Wild game, corn, berries, and native herbs found their way into the saloon's modest kitchens, enriching the austere menus with whispers of the land's original stewards. This blending of foodways spoke to a fragile coexistence, a shared reliance on the earth's bounty amid often turbulent relations. It was a quiet dialogue expressed in taste and sustenance, a testament to resilience and adaptation on all sides. In the shadows of rocky hills and narrow shafts, miners toiled in darkness and danger, chasing dreams of gold and silver. The saloon was their gathering place, a sanctuary where exhaustion softened, and hard-won earnings were spent on food and drink. Here, amid the smoke and noise, men shed the weight of toil and pain, finding fleeting respite in shared stories and the steady pulse of music and laughter. The saloon was both reward and necessity, a fuel for bodies drained by relentless labor, and a spark for spirits yearning to feel alive. Signs above saloon doors spoke in symbols and words, inviting some, warning others. Painted rattlesnakes, bright stars, and simple lettering marked these doors as places of refuge and risk. They whispered promises of drink, warmth, and company, but also cautions, of tempers flaring, of secrets held behind locked doors. These signs were the frontier's language, a visual code understood by all who passed beneath, a threshold into a world both inviting and unpredictable. As daylight fades and shadows deepen, lamps are lit one by one, soft flames flickering into life, pushing back the gathering darkness. The ritual is quiet, deliberate, an ancient gesture marking the transition from day's toil to night's stories. Light spills golden and warm, casting dancing shadows on walls worn smooth by time and touch. It is a moment of calm, a pause to honor the cycles of day and night, work and rest. In this gentle glow, the saloon's true heart begins to beat, steady, slow, and enduring. Words weave the saloon's tapestry, spoken histories passed from lips to ears in the flickering light. Tales of lost loves, narrow escapes, long journeys, and hard-fought battles ripple through the room like gentle waves. Each story is a thread connecting past and present, binding strangers in shared experience and memory. Here, history is alive, fluid and breathing, told not from books, but from the hearts of those who live its unfolding. These spoken words carry the weight of generations, the pulse of a land both harsh and beautiful, and the enduring spirit of those who call it home. Though the frontier has long since faded into memory, the saloon's legacy endures, a whisper on the wind, a shadow in a modern barroom's glow. Its rough wood, its smoky air, Its stories of survival and community live on in the hearts of those who remember and those who seek connection in quiet places. The saloon remains a symbol of resilience, of humanity's stubborn will to gather and share, even in the face of hardship and change. It is a reminder that beneath the vast skies and shifting landscapes, we all crave warmth, belonging, and the simple grace of a shared meal and a kind word. And so, the spirit of the saloon continues. Steady, patient, eternal. Morning light slips quietly through the saloon's windows, a gentle invasion of gold and warmth into the quiet, shadowed room. The air holds a stillness, as if the very walls remember the laughter, the sorrow, the whispered secrets of nights past. Each mote of dust dances slowly in the shafts of light, tiny remnants of stories, memories hanging suspended in the sunbeam. In this tender moment between night and day, the saloon rests, a silent witness to the endless rhythm of human lives unfolding beyond its weathered doors. The smell of coffee mingles with the steady breath of wood smoke, earthy, strong, and familiar. This scent is the saloon's morning song, drawing the waking from slumber, coaxing the body and spirit into readiness. It is a fragrance woven from the frontier itself, fire and toil, water and earth, a promise of nourishment and small comforts amid a harsh world. Breathing it in is to taste the day yet to come, to find in the ordinary a thread of sacred connection to life's enduring pulse. Breakfast stew is born from ritual and necessity, dried beans soaked and simmered slowly, salted meat rendered tender beneath the steady flame. Each stir is an act of patience, a quiet meditation on endurance. This humble meal, simmering in the dim morning light, carries the weight of countless dawns, a constant in a world of change. It nourishes not just the body, but the very will to face the unforgiving day. In its warmth lies a silent prayer, a hope for strength, for survival, for the grace to meet whatever trials lie ahead. The clatter of plates and the murmur of voices rise as patrons gather around the worn tables. The saloon hums gently, an orchestra of small sounds, the scrape of spoons, the low murmur of conversation, the occasional burst of laughter. In these simple moments, community breathes, fragile, resilient, a fragile dance of connection amid the vast solitude. Breakfast is more than food, it is a gathering of souls, a shared ritual that knits together the frayed edges of frontier life. Salt pork sizzles in the pan, its sturdy, briny flavor filling the air with promise and sustenance. Once a prized ration for sailors and soldiers, it found new life here, preserved meat that defies time and tempests. Its taste is bold and uncompromising, a reminder of the land's harsh demands and the ingenuity required to meet them. Each bite carries history, of journeys long and hard, of preservation against decay, of survival carved from salt and fire. Coffee is the anchor to the day's unfolding, a bitter, grounding ritual that steadies trembling hands and wakes weary minds. It is more than a drink, it is a call to presence, a call to endurance, a quiet defiance against the fatigue that shadows every frontier soul. Shared between companions or savored alone, its dark warmth is a balm to both body and spirit. In the simplest sip lies a profound promise, that today, like yesterday, life goes on. Morning whiskey is a paradox, a fire to ignite the spirit and a comfort against the cold. It is medicine and indulgence, a bitter friend who walks alongside the day's earliest struggles. The amber liquid catches the light, a small flame held in a glass, warming the heart and fortifying the will. In its heat is courage, a whispered promise that whatever lies ahead, the drinker will face it with grit and grace. Before the day's rush, the saloon breathes in stillness, a moment held between silence and sound. Dust motes drift lazily, catching the light like tiny stars suspended in amber air. The chairs sit patiently, the bar waits with polished wood and worn edges, ready to receive the tide of life soon to return. This quiet is sacred, a breath of calm before the storm, a space to gather strength and remember the enduring pulse beneath the chaos. Each patron carries their own morning ritual, a steadying practice that readies them for the day. Some cradle coffee cups like talismans, drawing warmth and courage from the bitter brew. Others sharpen tools, readying themselves for labor's demands, or read weathered newspapers, seeking news from a world beyond the frontier. In these quiet acts lie threads of hope and resilience, small anchors in a sea of uncertainty. Together, these rituals weave a fabric of community, individual acts of preparation bound by shared endurance. At its heart, the saloon is a promise, a refuge against the vast and often merciless wild. Its open doors offer sanctuary to the weary, the lonely, the hopeful. Here, beneath the creaking beams and weathered walls, life continues, raw, real, and unyielding. The saloon holds the stories of survival, of connection, of the enduring human spirit pressing forward into the unknown. And as dawn breaks, it stands steadfast, an enduring beacon of warmth and welcome on the edge of the wild frontier. Not all music in the West was wild fiddle reels and banjo stomps. In some saloons, amid the rowdy card games and the clink of shot glasses, a softer note was struck, a melody as fragile as porcelain in a land of dust and grit. The upright piano, hauled across plains on rattling wagons, stood like an altar to another life, a life of parlor rooms and polite company, far removed from the smell of gunpowder and horse sweat. Here, on quiet afternoons, before the night's noise and drink awoke the gamblers, someone would sit and play. A former schoolteacher from Boston, hair pinned in a way the desert wind could not understand, pressing her fingers gently upon ivory keys. Or a miner's son who had never owned a shirt without patches, learning by ear from the sounds drifting through swinging doors. The piano's notes were a promise that even here, in the raw edge of a country still being invented, there could be beauty for beauty's sake. And when the last chord faded, the silence was not empty, it was sacred. Gambling was the heartbeat of the saloon, its rhythm set by the roll of dice and the shuffle of cards. The gamblers were men with too much money, and men with none at all. Here, they sat equal, for luck was a tyrant who bowed to no king and pitied no beggar. Dice clattered like rain on a coffin lid, eyes followed them with hunger, calculation, and a silent plea to fate. Some swore by rituals, touching the brim of a hat 3 times before a throw, spitting in the corner, rubbing a lucky coin smooth as river stone, while others mocked superstition, yet still their hands trembled when the dice left their fingers. For in that brief roll, a man could gain the price of a new horse, or lose the land his father left him. She was known only as Ruby. Her name might have been Mary or Claire, or nothing close at all, but in the saloon, names mattered less than presence. Ruby was not the loudest laugh or the brightest voice, but the air shifted when she entered. Men straightened, cards paused, even the bartender poured quieter. Her red dress caught every lamplight, but it was her gaze, knowing each man's fears and standing close enough to make him forget, that made her unforgettable. Some said she'd married a sheriff, others swore she'd shot a man in Reno. The truth was hers alone. And when she laughed, the room leaned in to listen. The last drink of the night was not always loud. Sometimes it was a slow, deliberate swallow before the walk home, or the long ride into the Black Prairie. The empty glass gave no answers about whether the drinker was going to bed or to trouble, whether he had spoken too much or not enough, but the bartender knew. Not every fight ended in death. Some ended with 2 bruised men sprawled on the floor, rage burned out by fists and whiskey. This one began over nothing, a look too long, a word too sharp, and ended with limps into the night, pride leaking faster than blood, and by morning the reason was forgotten, or pretended to be. When a stranger came to town, his hat spoke before he did. Low crown meant rancher, high crown meant gambler. Too clean was suspicious, too worn meant desperation. The stranger who left his dust-covered hat by the door never gave his name, drank 1 beer, and watched the rare rain. Some said he was waiting for someone, others swore he was running. The hat stayed long after he left, as if the saloon itself kept his story. She wasn't old enough to drink, but the girl in the yard could rope a fence post at 30 paces. At first, cowhands laughed, until she beat them all in front of the town. The saloon yard was her stage, her rope loops the applause, her dream to ride in Wild West shows, though for now she spun her rope where the dust rose high and the air smelled of horses and beer. Not all saloon business happened at the bar. In the back rooms, lit by a single candle, Deals were struck over maps pinned with knives, voices low and urgent. By the time the wax pooled gold on the desk, some men's chances of keeping their land had burned away. Outside on the steps, a barefoot boy played harmonica at twilight, the street empty but for a sleeping dog. He didn't know much about music, but he knew it made the air feel less lonely. Some nights his tune was bright, other nights slow enough to stop even the drunkest cowhand. He never asked for coins, though they sometimes found their way into his hat. And when the last lamp dimmed, the doors swung shut, and laughter faded, the saloon did not sleep. It listened, to settling wood, to coyotes far off, to the whisper of cards left face down. Tomorrow the doors would open again, and the saloon, patient as the desert, would be ready. In the smoky hush of a dimly lit saloon corner, where the fading music dissolves into silence and the laughter thins to whispers, the card sharp waits patiently. He is neither drunk nor sober, poised in that delicate balance, that razor's edge between chance and control. Each card slides through his fingers like a secret, a whispered confession, its edges softened by 100 nights of careful deceit. He knows the subtle rhythms of greed, the moment a man's eyes linger too long on his winnings, the slight twitch of a lip that betrays a bluff. Outside, the cold night wind howls against the weathered saloon walls, but in here, only the steady shuffle speaks. Every game is a prayer for luck, and every prayer is a quiet invitation to ruin. At the bar, an old Catholic priest sits alone, his tattered cassock hanging loose, a half-empty glass of amber whiskey resting before him. A worn cross dangles from his neck, and beside his drink lies a cracked Bible, its pages stained with ring marks from long nights spent in prayer and doubt. He came west not for gold, nor for glory, but to save souls that no one else dared to claim. Yet the desert dust weighs heavy on his spirit, and faith, like water in this unforgiving sun, evaporates too quickly. Now, whiskey steadies his trembling hands better than prayer ever could. Each sip is both penance and sin. He speaks of forgiveness with a tongue loosened by liquor, but his eyes betray a deeper thirst, for redemption, or perhaps for a past he can never return to. In the West, saints and sinners drink from the same bottle, and often it's impossible to tell the difference. Outside on the saloon porch, a dust-covered drifter leans back in a creaky chair, boots crossed over the railing, strumming a battered guitar as dusk paints the sky in fading orange. He has no home, only horizons stretching beyond the edge of sight. His songs are stitched from miles traveled, each verse a road, each chord a memory of a campfire's glow and the faces left behind. The guitar's wood is scarred like his hands, its sound warm and worn. Passers-by hear only the melody, but he hears the ghosts in every note, the towns lost, the dreams traded for survival. The West never keeps its promises, but it hums them in the wind, and the drifter hums them back. Behind the bar, a broad-shouldered man in a clean white shirt polishes glasses with practiced ease. His eyes never miss a thing, watching every patron, every movement, even as his hands move with steady rhythm. The barkeep is the keeper of secrets. Every night, stories spill like the whiskey he pours, but he never shares them. He has heard confessions more damning than any judge would accept, and promises more fragile than any wedding vow. Some men measure their wealth in gold. He measures his in silence. Though he says little, his gaze can cut sharper than a Bowie knife. In the Wild West, the man who talks least often knows the most. The sound of pounding hooves and rattling wheels announces the arrival of the stagecoach, kicking up a cloud of dust as it thunders into town. Horses' manes fly wild, their eyes wide with exertion, and a small crowd gathers eagerly to see who has come. The stagecoach is more than a vehicle, it's the town's pulse. News, mail, strangers, danger, all can come riding in behind its leather curtains. Some step down with smiles and gifts, others with guns and grudges. The dust they leave behind lingers longer than the travelers, settling over the town like another layer in its unfolding history. Inside, for men sit at a round poker table, their own piles of chips stacked like small fortunes. Eyes locked in a silent war, they play beneath the swinging light of a single oil lamp. Poker is the true religion of the West. The altar is the felt, the scripture is the deal, and the faith is in the bluff. Here, fortunes are won and lost with barely more than a finger's movement. Every raise is a dare, every call a confession, every fold a surrender. The game can end in laughter or in blood. And yet, night after night, the faithful return. On the small saloon stage, a woman in a red satin dress stands confidently, one hand resting on her hip, the other holding a feathered fan. Her eyes scan the crowd with playful calculation. She is the West's most dangerous weapon, more disarming than any revolver. Men cross deserts for her smile, empty their pockets for a dance, and sometimes lose more than money. When she sings, her voice is a rope of honey, pulling the lonely closer, tying them without knots. In a town where guns decide most fates, she can change one with just a glance. Outside, a fresh, wanted poster flaps on the saloon door, the ink still dark and sharp. The face drawn in black lines is cold and unforgiving. The West does not forget. It may take weeks, months, or years, but once your face finds its way to paper, the clock begins ticking. Some posters are torn down in anger, others taken as trophies. A bounty is more than a price on a head. It is an invitation to the hunt. And in the West, there are always hunters. Midnight in the saloon is a dangerous hour. Whiskey has worn courage thin, and the air is heavy with old grudges. When the gun fires, it's not a surprise but a sharp punctuation. The end of an argument and the start of a story that will be whispered for months. The flash from the revolver lights up the room for a moment, and smoke rises, curling like a question no one can answer. Every night ends the same way, with an empty whiskey glass sitting on the bar, the wood beneath still wet. The saloon is quiet now, the stories paused, and the people gone. The West drinks hard because the West lives hard. And at the bottom of that glass, a man might find the truth, though by morning it will be gone, and vanish in sudden bursts of chaos. The old clock hangs silent, its hands frozen in a moment long past. Yet the patrons live by its unspoken rhythms, the setting of the sun, the last call, the promise of another dawn. Time is both prisoner and master here, and the clock keeps its secrets well. A broken bottle tells a story louder than words. It speaks of anger unleashed, of battles fought without guns, of moments when survival means standing your ground. The sharp edges catch the light like fleeting hope, beautiful, dangerous, and fleeting. In the West, destruction often walks hand in hand with creation, and every broken thing carries a lesson. Night breathes deep, and somewhere beyond the flickering lanterns, a coyote's howl rises, wild, unbroken, eternal. It carries across the vast emptiness, a song of loneliness and belonging all at once. The howl is a reminder that the West is not tame, that beneath civilization's fragile veneer, the wild still waits, watching, waiting. The revolver is a symbol of protection, of power, of the thin line between life and death. Left forgotten on the table, it rests silently, a sleeping giant waiting to be awoken. In its cold steel lies the history of countless stories, some heroic, some tragic, all etched into the fabric of the West. The last call is a solemn ritual, a closing of the night's chapter. Glasses raised one final time, voices lowering, and the saloon exhales, ready to sleep. Only for a moment, but in the stillness, the promise lingers that tomorrow, the doors will swing wide once more, and the dance will begin again. The lantern sways in the evening air, its fragile flame a beacon against the encroaching darkness. It guides weary travelers home, promises warmth and a moment's respite. Yet the light is uncertain, a fragile hope that dances with every gust. In the vast silence of the frontier, this small glow is a prayer, a silent vow to hold back the night. Laughter is a rare currency here, sharp, sudden, like a crack in the cold air. It rises above the clatter of bottles, the scrape of boots on wood, a brief refuge from the hard truths of the day. In their laughter, these souls find a fleeting freedom, a moment when pain softens and the weight of the world lightens, if only just for a breath. The saloon door's jingle is a call, a herald of stories new and old. Each swing brings a fresh breath of life, a shifting tide of hope, fear, and longing. It announces the arrival of strangers, of friends, of trouble waiting just beyond the threshold. That familiar sound is the heartbeat of the frontier, steady, unyielding, alive. The hearth is the heart of the saloon, a place where cold bones find comfort and weary hearts gather warmth. Its flames whisper stories in their flicker, tales of survival, of battles won and lost, of nights spent chasing dreams as elusive as smoke. Here, beneath the glow, strangers become companions, and the fire binds them in fragile kinship. The whiskey barrel holds more than liquid. It cradles the spirit of the West itself. Aged and dark, it speaks of patience and quiet endurance, of secrets soaked into the wood grain. From its depths comes courage, sorrow, joy, all distilled into the amber glow of each pour. In every sip, the frontier lives again, wild, unforgiving, and endlessly human. Music once flowed from these keys, melodies that lifted spirits and stirred souls. Now, dust lays thick, and silence has settled like a shroud. But the piano remembers, every note, every laugh, every tear, etched invisibly beneath the dust. And in the quiet, one can almost hear the faint echo of a song long forgotten, whispering through time. He enters like a storm, polished, precise, with a presence that commands attention. His clothes speak of distant cities, his eyes tell of battles unseen. In the West, appearances are armor, and the stranger wears his like a second skin. Yet beneath the shine lies a story, one of ambition, of danger, of a past that will not stay buried. The saloon cat moves unnoticed, a silent guardian of dust and shadow. It weaves through legs and stories alike, watching the comings and goings with lazy, unblinking eyes. In its quiet way, the cat knows the saloon's secrets, the hidden hurts, the stolen moments, the lives that slip in and out like smoke. It is a humble witness to the endless human play. One glass, half full, a quiet monument to solitude. It holds the weight of many stories, the joy of reunion, the sting of parting, the murmur of regrets drowned beneath amber waves. It waits patiently for the next hand to reach out, for another moment to be lived and lost. In its stillness, it speaks volumes, a testament to the human need to hold on, and sometimes, to let go. The night draws to a close. The saloon exhales, its doors shutting tight against the cold dawn. Stories pause but do not end. They linger in the shadows, waiting for the next chapter, the next gathering, the next soul brave enough to step inside. For in this place, life and legend are one and the same, woven together in endless rhythm, like the turning of the earth itself. There are places in the saloon where the noise softens, where whispers thread through the smoke like gentle winds. The quiet corner is a refuge for those who carry secrets too heavy to share aloud. It holds the weight of confessions never spoken, of memories folded and tucked away like old letters. Here, time slows, and even the loudest sorrows find a moment's peace. He has chased the gleam of fortune through rocky hills and cold rivers. His hands are cracked like the earth he's dug through, his eyes bright with dreams that refuse to fade. The prospector knows the cost of hope, the long nights, the empty promises, the weight of what might have been. And yet, he returns to this worn bar, to the steady warmth of whiskey and stories, holding on to the shimmer of gold in both pan and heart. The saloon breathes, a living place of dust and dreams, of shadows and light. Its breath is the mingled scent of tobacco and whiskey, of sweat and dust, of laughter and despair. With every inhale, it takes in the lives of its patrons, and with every exhale, it releases their stories into the endless frontier air. Above the bar rests a silent sentinel, a shotgun that has seen countless storms. It is both a warning and a promise, that violence is never far, that protection comes with price. The weapon watches over the saloon's fragile peace, reminding all who enter that the West's law is etched in iron and courage. The sign swings in the breeze, a weathered herald of welcome and warning. Its colors have faded, its edges worn by sun and storm, yet it endures, a testament to the saloon's place in the world. It tells the story of a gathering place, of refuge and reckoning, of chance and choice, written in peeling paint and whispered promises. Within the barrel lies more than whiskey. It cradles the dreams of all who drink. Each drop carries a wish, a hope, a fleeting escape from the relentless grind. The barrel is a vessel of possibility, holding the bittersweet nectar of courage, of sorrow, of the wild yearning that drives the frontier soul. A hat is more than protection, it is identity. It carries the shape of the wearer's life, sun-baked afternoons, stormy nights, countless miles ridden. Underneath its brim, stories unfold in silence, of battles fought, of friendships forged, of a spirit that refuses to be broken. Among the clatter and chaos, a whispered prayer lingers, soft as the dawn light, steady as the turning earth. It is a plea for mercy, for forgiveness, for strength to face another day. In the saloon, prayer is not always spoken. Sometimes it is felt, a quiet thread woven through the night's tapestry. Goodbyes in the West are often quiet affairs, a nod, a lingering glance, a silent promise to meet again. They carry the weight of uncertainty, of roads yet traveled, of battles yet fought. And as the figure fades into the rising sun, the saloon waits, patient, enduring, ready for the next story to unfold. Beyond the doors lies the endless frontier, vast, untamed, and full of possibility. It is a land of dreams and dangers, of solitude and connection. The saloon is its heart, a place where stories converge, where the past and future meet in the flicker of a candle flame. And as the sun sets on this rugged world, we remember that the West is not just a place. It is a spirit, wild and free, ever waiting, ever calling. Before the first stirrings of the day, before the world outside begins to rouse, the saloon holds its breath in stillness. The clamor of yesterday has faded into memory, replaced by a profound silence, soft, gentle, as if the building itself were sleeping. This early morning hush carries with it a sacred calm, a fleeting moment when time seems to pause, offering a quiet invitation to rest, to reflect, to simply be. It is a time when the dust settles softly, and the ghosts of stories past whisper just beneath the surface, waiting patiently to be heard again. Old stories breathe quietly in the corners of the saloon, tucked within the faded pages of forgotten books, and etched into the grain of scarred wood. They drift softly on the warm air, carried like gentle echoes from the voices of those who came before. These tales are not just entertainment, they are threads, woven through generations, binding past to present, giving shape and meaning to the rugged lives lived here. In every whispered recollection, there is a lesson, a warning, a hope, reminders that even in the harshest places, humanity endures. The whiskey flows slowly, a golden river spilling into the glass, each drop measured, deliberate, sacred. It is more than drink, it is ritual, a balm for aching bodies and weary spirits, a catalyst for courage and confession. The pour is a moment of pause, a brief escape from the relentless frontier. With each sip, burdens lighten, and the boundaries between strangers soften, woven together by shared warmth and shared stories. In the flicker of a lone candle, hope burns quietly, fragile, persistent, alive. It refuses to be snuffed out by hardship or despair, steadfast against the winds of uncertainty. This small flame holds the power to illuminate the darkest corners, to kindle courage where it has dimmed, to remind all who gather here that even in the roughest places, light can be found. These hands speak a language of toil, of days spent under a relentless sun, of nights spent restless and cold. They have built, fought, loved, and lost. Each scar, each callus, is a chapter in the story of survival. In their roughness lies resilience, a quiet testament to the human will to endure, to carve meaning from the unforgiving earth, and to hold fast to life's fragile beauty. Footsteps echo through empty halls, steady, sure, carrying stories untold. Each step is a heartbeat, a rhythm marking passage through time and space. The sound is both a comfort and a warning, a reminder of presence, of journeys taken, and of the unknown ahead. In this echo lies the pulse of the West, alive, relentless, unyielding. The scent of leather and smoke fills the air, a fragrant tapestry woven from dust, sweat, and fire. It speaks of long rides through open plains, of campfires under endless stars, of stories exchanged and promises made. This smell is a signature of the frontier, a reminder that every soul who passes through carries the wildness of the land upon them, etched not just in skin, but in scent and memory. Not all toasts are loud. Some are carried in silence, heavy with unspoken meaning. A raised glass becomes a bond, a salute to lost friends, to hard-won victories, to dreams that flicker just out of reach. In these quiet moments, the saloon feels less like a building and more like a sanctuary, a place where hearts find kinship. Without words, the bar wears its history like a second skin, scarred and polished, weathered and worn. Each scratch is a memory, each stain a trace of laughter or sorrow spilled and forgotten. This surface has cradled countless stories, absorbed whispered secrets, and witnessed the ebb and flow of countless lives. In its patina, time is tangible, a living record of endurance and change. The open window breathes life into the saloon, carrying the scent of sagebrush and wildflowers. It invites the vastness of the frontier inside, a constant reminder that beyond these walls lies freedom, uncertainty, possibility. Through this frame, the world stretches endlessly, and with it, the hopes and fears of all who dare to dream. The window is both boundary and bridge, portal to the wild, and to the endless stories waiting beyond. Morning begins not with the sun alone, but with the slow, deliberate act of coffee brewing, a ritual as old as the frontier itself. The rich aroma curls through the air, filling the saloon with warmth and possibility. That first sip is more than caffeine. It is a lifeline, a quiet promise that despite the hardships, another day awaits, another chance to endure, to fight, to hope. The bitter warmth stirs the senses awake, nudges the spirit from sleep's embrace, and whispers softly, "You are still here." Not all secrets are shared openly. Some hide in the quiet shadows, in the hidden corners where the flicker of candlelight fades. These back rooms hold more than crates and dust. They shelter whispered deals, plans hatched in hushed tones, and hopes too fragile for the bright glare of day. Here, the saloon's heartbeat slows, becoming a rhythm felt rather than heard, a pulse beneath the surface that binds the restless to the forgotten. The last cigarette burns slowly, a fragile thread between the past and the present. Its smoke curls lazily upward, dancing briefly before fading into the dim air. This final ember is a quiet farewell, a closing note to conversations, to moments shared and stories told. It lingers in the senses long after it is gone, a bittersweet trace of human presence, of lives lived on the edge, of nights stretched thin and hearts worn raw. Shadows flicker and dance upon the walls, silent storytellers weaving tales of their own. They stretch and contract with the trembling light, becoming ghosts of moments past, laughter frozen in time, anger held in suspended breath, joy and sorrow entwined in eternal embrace. In these shifting forms, the saloon's soul reveals itself, a place where light and darkness coalesce, and every story finds its shadow. Amidst the grit and grime, there are smiles, rough-edged and rare, like fragments of sunlight breaking through storm clouds. They speak of resilience, of moments where joy sneaks past despair, where hope lights the darkest night. These smiles are unpolished treasures, born from struggle and survival, reminding us that even in the harshest lands, the human spirit finds reasons to laugh, to connect, to live. The saloon pulses with life, a living organism fueled by the breath and beat of countless souls. Every step on the creaking floorboards, every clink of glass, every whispered secret adds to the rhythm that fills this place. It is a place of raw energy, of conflict and camaraderie, where stories collide and merge, creating a vibrant tapestry of human experience. Here, amid the noise and smoke, the frontier's heart beats strongest, steady, fierce, and unyielding. From the depths of the saloon's smoke and shadow, the solitary tune rises, soft, haunting, carrying the weight of countless untold stories. The fiddler bow moves with deliberate grace, each note a whisper, The sigh, a lament for what was lost and what might never be. This melody weaves through the night like a thread of memory, binding all who listen to a shared sense of longing for home, for peace, for a place beyond the relentless dust. Wisdom often hides in the humblest of places, in the barroom debates that stretch long into the night. Here, amid spilled whiskey and cigarette smoke, philosophies are born, ideas forged in the crucible of hardship and hope. These conversations are the lifeblood of the West, where rough hands speak of honor, justice, and survival, and where dreams mingle with reality. In a dance as old as time, the saloon is more than a building. It is a classroom, a sanctuary, a forum for the restless mind. Night wraps the saloon in a gentle embrace, softening its edges, turning sharp corners into shadows, and transforming the harsh into the mysterious. Under the vast canopy of stars, the saloon becomes a beacon, a place of refuge and reckoning, where the wildness of the world outside meets the rawness of the human soul within. It is a moment suspended between two worlds, one of light, one of dark, and in this balance, the West breathes deep. Alive with possibility, dawn promises renewal, a fresh page written in gold and light. The saloon, battered but unbroken, stands ready to greet the new day. Within its walls, stories will unfold once more, of courage and folly, of laughter and tears, of the endless human journey to find meaning in a wild and unforgiving land. As the sun rises, so too does hope, quiet, persistent, eternal, whispering that no matter how harsh the night, light will always return. The revolver lies quiet now, its cold metal surface dulled by dust and time. Yet it carries the weight of countless stories, moments of desperation, of courage, of swift justice, and sometimes of tragic mistakes. In the hands of many, it was a tool for survival, a last line of defense against the wild unknown. Its presence commands respect and caution, a reminder that peace on the frontier was always fragile, held in balance by both hope and fear. His face tells 1,000 tales, etched with the sun's relentless kiss, softened by years of laughter and loss. Each wrinkle maps the trails he's ridden, the storms he's weathered, and the quiet moments beneath open skies. In those eyes, there is wisdom born of hardship, a steady calm that speaks louder than words. He is a living bridge between the past and the present, a keeper of stories that shape the land and soul alike. Dice tumble and rattle, fate spinning wildly on weathered wood. Each roll carries a silent prayer, for luck, for escape, for fortune's favor. In the saloon, chance is a constant companion, and the gamble is never just with money, but with trust, with honor, and sometimes with life itself. These tiny cubes hold the power to change destinies, to twist paths in ways both cruel and kind. In the deep hours of the night, when the saloon quiets and the world narrows, confessions come softly, spoken more to the air than to any listener. They carry the weight of secrets too heavy to carry alone, of regrets etched deep into the soul. Here, amidst the smoke and shadows, there is a strange grace, a place where broken spirits can find brief absolution, and where the heart dares to hope for healing. The sign creaks softly as it swings, a weathered promise to those who wander. It bears the name of a place where stories are born, where the broken and the brave alike find refuge. Though time has worn its paint thin, its message remains clear. Welcome, stranger. Step inside and leave the world's harsh edges behind. Here, in this sanctuary of wood and warmth, life's rough edges soften, and the soul finds space to breathe. Among the clutter, a letter lies forgotten, its paper yellowed, its ink faded, yet its words still alive in silence. This letter is a relic of love, of loss, of promises made under stars long vanished. It speaks of hope deferred, of hearts tethered by distance and time. Though unopened by many, its presence is a quiet testament that even in the roughest places, the human heart yearns to connect, to be remembered, to matter. The writer appears on the horizon, a solitary figure etched against the dying light. Each return is a journey marked by distance, by battles fought beneath endless skies. The saloon stands ready to embrace him, to offer warmth and the company of kindred souls. In this place, he sheds the dust of the trail, and for a moment, finds a fleeting peace amid the chaos. His story is one of endurance, of belonging, of the endless dance between the wild and the home. A faint melody weaves through the air, soft, tender, almost forgotten. It rises gently from a piano's worn keys, a lullaby for the weary and the restless. This music carries the weight of dreams, of hearts longing for something just beyond reach. In its quiet grace, it binds the present to the past, a bridge made of sound, a whisper that no hardship can silence. The hearth glows with a quiet fire, smoldering embers that refuse to die. They hold the memories of countless nights, of warmth sought in the chill, of stories shared in flickering light, of solitude softened by the promise of companionship. Though the flames may wane, the hearth's spirit endures, a steadfast guardian of comfort, amid the wild frontier's cold embrace. As the closing hour arrives, the saloon exhales a final breath. Doors swing shut, shadows stretch long and silent. The voices fade, the laughter lingers faintly like a fading echo. For a time, the world outside claims its quiet back, and the saloon rests, waiting patiently for dawn's return, for the next gathering of souls who seek refuge. In its warm embrace, under its watchful lantern light, morning light spills softly across the wooden floor, painting the dust in hues of gold and amber. Each sunbeam is a quiet reminder of the passage of time, a slow awakening after a night heavy with stories and shadows. The saloon, once alive with raucous voices and laughter, now breathes in the stillness, a sacred pause between the chaos of yesterday and the promise of tomorrow. Here in this gentle light, the weight of hardship seems to soften, and the spirit finds a moment to rest. Names etched into wood tell silent tales, a rough registry of those who have passed through these doors. Each initial, each date, is a mark of presence, a claim staked in a world often fleeting and uncertain. These weathered signatures are more than graffiti. They are echoes of identity, reminders that even in the wildest places, humans long to be remembered, to leave a trace, to say, "I was here." There is a quiet resolve in the hands of those who endure, a steadfast strength born not of violence, but of unwavering will. These hands have faced the unforgiving land, have held fast through storms of hardship and despair. In their stillness lies power, a calm readiness to meet whatever comes next, to carry on despite the odds, to forge a life from dust and dreams. The horseshoes cling stubbornly to the weathered wall, tokens of journeys past, of hooves pounding dusty trails, of riders who sought more than just a place to rest. They speak of motion and momentum, of the restless spirit that drives all who call this land home. In their rusted curves lies the story of countless miles traveled, the ceaseless search for freedom, for meaning, for belonging. The wind moves through the saloon's open doors, carrying whispers from the vast plains beyond. It is a breath from the wild, free, untamed, and endlessly wandering. The wind speaks of change and continuity, of lives intertwined with the land's ancient rhythms. In its murmur, one can hear the echoes of footsteps long gone, the rustle of secrets shared, the call of horizons yet to be reached. A family's likeness endures on fragile paper, faces frozen in a moment of time, smiles that once shone with hope and love. Though the photograph fades, its meaning deepens, a testament to connection, to roots planted deep despite the shifting sands of fortune. It is a reminder that even in the wildest frontiers, the human heart craves belonging, yearns for continuity, and holds fast to memories that transcend time. These boots have carried their owner through endless miles, over rocky passes, through dusty trails, across the unforgiving frontier. Their scuffed leather tells of hard-won journeys, of moments when every step demanded grit and grace. They are silent witnesses to a life of motion, of battles fought and peace sought. And when they finally rest, they speak volumes about endurance, about the courage it takes to keep moving forward. The lantern flickers against the growing dark, a small, steadfast beacon in the encroaching night. Its light is fragile yet fierce, a symbol of guidance and hope. For travelers weary and lost, it promises refuge and warmth. For those who linger, it is a reminder that even in shadows, there is light to be found, a quiet assurance that dawn will come. The mirror stands as a silent watcher, bearing witness to every story, every secret, every laughter and tear that has passed before it. It reflects the faces of strangers and friends alike, capturing moments both fleeting and eternal. Though worn by time, it holds the saloon's memory, a quiet guardian of history and humanity, waiting patiently for the next tale to unfold. In the hush of night, the promise of rest awaits. A simple cot, a quiet corner, a place to lay burdens down and breathe. Here, in the fragile space between wakefulness and dreams, the weary find solace, a moment's peace from the relentless journey. And as the world outside sleeps beneath a blanket of stars, within these walls, the spirit gathers strength, preparing for the dawn, for the next chapter, for the endless frontier ahead. The hearth crackles softly, sending sparks like tiny stars into the night air. Its warmth wraps around the room, offering comfort against the chill that creeps in from the open plains. Around this flickering glow, stories take shape, woven between the glow and the shadows. Tales of triumph, of loss, of the relentless spirit of those who called this land home. The hearth is a silent witness, a keeper of memories both joyous and sorrowed, binding past and present in its gentle embrace. The sign above the door sways slowly in the breeze, weathered by sun and storm, marked by years of untold passage. Its letters, though faded, still proclaim welcome, a beacon to those seeking shelter, the place to rest the body and feed the soul. This sign holds the weight of countless arrivals and departures, of new beginnings and bittersweet farewells, a silent guardian of the frontier's ever-turning wheel. As the night deepens, the bartender calls last orders, a gentle summons to savor the final moments. Glasses empty, hands linger, conversations slow, and the weight of the day settles in the room. This last call is more than a signal, it is a shared breath, a collective exhale before silence descends. In these fleeting moments, there is a quiet understanding, a bond forged in hardship and humanity. A solitary candle burns with steadfast grace, its flame small but unwavering in the stillness. It casts a gentle circle of light, offering warmth and hope to those gathered near. This simple glow is a symbol of resilience in the face of darkness, of the enduring human spirit that refuses to be extinguished. Here, beneath its soft illumination, hearts find courage, and stories find their voice. The clock hangs frozen, its hands paused in silent vigil at midnight. Though time seems halted here, its presence is a reminder of the relentless march beyond these walls. It marks moments lived and moments lost, reminding all who enter that the past and future are ever intertwined, a delicate balance of memory and hope. In its stillness, the clock invites reflection, urging patience and presence in the flow of life. Behind the door, whispers linger, soft voices sharing secrets and dreams, plans made in confidence, and fears spoken only to the shadows. This hidden space is a sanctuary for the unspoken, a refuge for the restless soul seeking solace. Here, the saloon reveals its depths, not just a place of revelry, but a keeper of human complexity, a mirror reflecting the unseen lives that pulse beneath the surface. The dust settles slowly, a soft blanket woven by time and neglect. Each particle carries a story, of footsteps taken, of spills and escapes, of moments caught between laughter and sorrow. This dust is the saloon's memory made visible, a quiet testament to endurance, to the persistence of life in the face of hardship. It reminds us that even in stillness, history breathes, waiting patiently to be uncovered. In the hush of solitude, thoughts ripple like quiet waves upon still water. This moment of reflection is a sanctuary, a space where the mind can wander freely, beyond the confines of circumstance. Here, amid the hum of distant voices and clinking glasses, the soul converses with itself, seeking answers, finding peace, embracing the vastness within. Beyond the saloon's warm embrace lies the open road, an invitation to adventure, to discovery, to freedom. It stretches endlessly, winding through valleys and over hills, beckoning the restless to follow its path. The road carries the promise of new beginnings, of horizons waiting to be reached, of stories yet to be lived. It is the pulse of the frontier, wild, untamed, and full of possibility. The frontier is eternal, a boundless expanse where dreams meet reality, where the spirit of humanity is tested and strengthened. It is a place of contradictions, harsh and beautiful, wild and welcoming, dangerous and full of hope. Here, beneath endless skies, the stories of countless souls intertwine, woven into the fabric of the land itself, carried forward by the winds of time. The frontier calls to all who listen, an enduring symbol of freedom, resilience, and the unquenchable thirst for life. These hands tell a story, a saga of relentless toil and unyielding endurance. Each line, each scar, etched not just by time but by sweat and struggle. They have wrestled with the land, tamed wild beasts, built homes and hopes from dust and stone. In their strength lies the backbone of a civilization born of grit, a testament to the human will to carve meaning from the rawness of existence. Once the heart of the saloon's melody, the old piano now rests in quiet dignity. Its chipped keys hold echoes of laughter and sorrow, songs that wove through smoky air, binding strangers with shared rhythm. Though silence now reigns, the piano remains a symbol of joy found amidst hardship, of moments where music bridged the gap between loneliness and connection. The fire's last ember glows softly, a fading heartbeat in the night. It whispers of warmth once held, of stories shared beneath starry skies, of the fragile glow that sustains life in cold darkness. Though it dwindles, its light carries on in memory, a quiet promise that even when flames die, the spirit of the night endures. These boots have traveled miles of dusty trails, felt the grit of the earth, borne the weight of dreams and burdens alike. They stand ready, waiting for the day's first step, the call of new horizons. In their worn leather lies the spirit of restless wanderers, of those who dare to seek, to explore, to live fully in the uncertain dance of life. The clock tower looms as a sentinel, marking the passage of hours and days with steady grace. Its chimes weave through the town like a heartbeat, reminding all who listen that time moves forward, that change is inevitable. Yet beneath its measured rhythm, there is comfort. A steady pulse anchoring lives in the vast wilderness of uncertainty. The old timber breathes with history, knots and grain etched with stories of years gone by. It holds the echoes of footsteps, of laughter and conflict, of moments both fleeting and eternal. This wood is more than structure. It is a keeper of memory, a silent witness to the unfolding human drama, played out beneath its watchful beams. The windows wear the dust of countless days, yet here and there, fingerprints break the veil. Tiny portals cleared by hands longing to see beyond. Through these blurred panes, the outside world beckons, vast, wild, and endlessly inviting. The contrast between shadow and light, between inside and out, mirrors the eternal human tension. Between shelter and freedom, the doorway stands as both threshold and invitation, a passage between the known and unknown, between solitude and community. Through its sturdy frame flow stories and souls, crossing paths, finding connection, seeking refuge. It is a place of comings and goings, of beginnings and endings, a liminal space where life unfolds in all its complexity. Lanterns sway gently in the evening breeze, casting pools of golden light that ripple across the porch. Their glow is a quiet hymn to hope and guidance, a beacon for the weary traveler, searching for warmth in the growing dark. Each flicker is a whisper that no matter how deep the night, there is always light to be found. The horizon stretches wide and infinite, a vast canvas of possibility and mystery. It beckons the heart to wander, to dream, to dare. In its endless expanse lies the spirit of the frontier, boundless, wild, and free. It is a place where stories begin, where the past meets the future, and where the human journey unfolds. Under the eternal sky, the prairie wakes slowly beneath a veil of mist, each blade of grass adorned with shimmering droplets, pearls woven by the night's quiet breath. This gentle cloak softens the land's rugged edges, offering a moment of calm before the day unfolds. In this hush, the world seems infinite and full of promise, a vast canvas awaiting the imprint of life's unfolding story. The wagon wheel leans silently, its spokes cracked and faded by endless suns. It tells of journeys long ended, of paths forged through dust and determination. Though still now, it holds the memory of motion, of hopes carried forward, of burdens borne with steadfast resolve. It is a relic of perseverance, a symbol of the frontier's relentless spirit. Empty chairs gather in quiet conversation, echoes of laughter and stories lingering in their absence. They stand ready, awaiting the next gathering, a place for strangers and friends to meet, to share their lives in fleeting moments of connection. In their stillness, they speak of community, of the human need to belong and be seen. The barrel rests like a sentinel, its rounded form catching the light and shadow in equal measure. It holds the promise of sustenance, of whiskey's burn, of stories loosened and friendships forged. Its shadow stretches long, a reminder that even the simplest vessels carry weight, both literal and symbolic, in the theater of frontier life. Beneath the endless tapestry of stars, the frontier breathes in rhythm with the cosmos. Each pinprick of light is a beacon, a whisper from distant times and places. The sky invites contemplation, a silent expanse where dreams and fears collide, where the infinite meets the intimate. Under this celestial dome, the human spirit finds both humility and hope. The hat sits quietly, its brim curled by the hands of time and trial. It has shielded its wearer from blazing suns and driving storms, bearing witness to countless journeys and encounters. This simple piece of fabric and leather is a silent companion, a symbol of identity, resilience, and the rugged beauty of frontier life. The candle's flame dances softly, its light a fragile guardian against the encroaching dark. It is a symbol of hope, of warmth and perseverance. Though small, its glow reaches far, a beacon for lost souls, a comfort for the weary, and a reminder that even the faintest light can pierce the deepest night. Footsteps fade slowly into the earth, each one a journey begun or ended. They carry the weight of decisions made, of paths chosen and roads left behind. In their silence, they speak of movement, of the restless heart that beats within us all, urging us onward through the unknown. Pages of the ledger whisper secrets, accounts kept with careful hands, stories of trade, of trust, and sometimes of loss. Each entry is a thread in the fabric of daily life, a record of hopes invested and debts carried. Though worn by time, this book holds the pulse of the saloon's heartbeat, a testament to the order beneath the seeming chaos. As twilight embraces the day, the saloon takes on a new kind of life. Soft shadows stretch and mingle with fading light, while the first stars begin their silent vigil. It is a moment suspended between the bustle and the quiet, between the known and the mysterious. Here, in this gentle transition, the soul finds space to breathe, to dream, and to rest. Morning dew clings gently to leather, each droplet catching the first light, a fleeting jewel in the vast wilderness. This saddle, weathered by countless rides, holds stories of dawn journeys and dusty trails, of riders who greeted each new day with quiet determination and steady heart. In this simple moment, the world is poised, ready to awaken, to move, to live. The thunder of hooves rolls across the plains, a primal rhythm that stirs the soul. It speaks of freedom unbound, of wind in the mane and the earth rushing beneath. Horses carry the weight of human hope and haste, bridging the gap between earth and sky, between dream and reality. Their pace quickens the pulse, reminding us of the wild heart beating within us all. The lantern's flame trembles in the evening air, a fragile heartbeat in the gathering darkness. It holds the promise of safety and warmth, a beacon for those still journeying home. Though its light wanes, it carries the weight of countless nights, guiding, comforting, a small yet steadfast guardian against the night. The pines whisper secrets carried by the wind, ancient stories etched in the language of rustling needles. They stand as sentinels, silent and enduring, witnesses to the passage of time and tide. Within their shade, there is solace and mystery, a reminder that nature holds the deepest wisdom, quiet, patient, eternal. The bottle gathers dust, its glass a vessel of memories and moments. Within, the amber liquid holds stories, of laughter and sorrow, of courage and despair. Whiskey is more than drink. It is balm and fire, fuel for the weary, a social glue in a land where connection is rare and precious. Its presence speaks of life's complexities, of pleasure mingled with pain. The bridle hangs in quiet repose, its worn leather telling of journeys bridled by trust and care. It is a symbol of partnership, between rider and steed, between human and wild. Every buckle and strap holds a story, a history of guidance and surrender, of control balanced by respect. The first star emerges in the twilight sky, a solitary spark against the deepening blue. It is a beacon of hope and wonder, a celestial guide for the dreamers and wanderers. Its steady light whispers of constancy in change, of dreams that outlast the night. Beneath its glow, the heart finds peace and purpose. The room holds faint echoes, laughter carried on the breath of memory, music woven into the fabric of silence. Though the faces are gone, their presence lingers, ghosts of joy and sorrow, reminders that places are more than bricks and beams. They are vessels of human experience, alive with the past and present entwined. The hearth's glow fades to embers, its warmth lingering like a gentle sigh. It is a silent witness to countless nights, to stories told, to dreams nurtured, to rest found after the day's hard labor. Though the fire dims, its spirit endures, a reminder that even in endings, there is the seed of new beginnings. The sky unfolds in boundless expanse, a canvas of shifting light and endless possibility. It holds the dreams of those who dared to tread this land, the hopes carried on the wind, the silent prayers whispered beneath the stars. In its vastness, there is freedom, a space where the human spirit soars, unbound and eternal. The barrels stand like sentinels, bearing the marks of countless seasons, their wood weathered, cracked, and stained. Within their sturdy confines lies the essence of many stories, whiskey aged in silence, secrets held tight beneath heavy lids. They are vessels of time itself, holding the past patiently, waiting to pour forth their rich legacy. Shattered glass gleams with cruel beauty, sharp edges reflecting fractured moments, spilled hopes and broken promises. In the shards lies a quiet reminder that life's pleasures often come entwined with pain, and that beneath celebration and revelry, fragility waits silently, an ever-present companion to joy. The curtain sways with ghostly grace, part veil, part boundary. It guards secrets held behind the saloon's walls, whispers of deals made in shadows, confessions exchanged under hushed breath. This fabric is a threshold between public bravado and private truths, between the light of day and the mysteries of night. The stubs tell of many nights, candles burned low in quiet vigil, light waning but never extinguished. Each melted wick is a testament to endurance, to hours spent in thought, in waiting, in the silent dialogue between darkness and flame. Here, the fragile persistence of light mirrors the resilience of the human heart. The broken chair leans quietly, its fracture a silent testimony to wear and strain. It has held countless bodies, offered rest to weary souls, and now stands as a metaphor for the inevitable passage of time, for strength tested and altered, and for the beauty found in imperfection. Thunder rumbles far beyond the horizon, a distant drumbeat of nature's power and unpredictability. It speaks of storms yet to come, of challenges waiting beyond the safety of walls. And yet, in its fury, there is a wild kind of beauty, a reminder of the forces that shape the land and its people, unceasing and unstoppable. The empty bottle lies silent, a ghost of celebration and solace past. It tells of laughter spilled and tears shed, of friendships forged in flickering candlelight. Though hollow now, it carries the weight of countless stories, reminders that even emptiness can hold meaning and memory. The floorboards bear the imprint of time, scratches, dents, and stains etched deep into their grain. They have felt the rhythm of countless dances, the shuffle of weary feet, and the heavy tread of those weighed by life's burdens. Beneath their weathered surface lies a hidden archive, the pulse of a community, written not in words, but in the marks left behind. The lantern flickers softly, its flame a fragile heartbeat in the still night. It fights the darkness with a quiet courage, a beacon of warmth and hope. In its gentle glow, there is a promise that even in the loneliest hours, light can be found, and with it the strength to carry on. The door stands open, welcoming the night's cool breath. It invites wanderers in and bids them onward, a passage between shelter and the wild unknown. Here lies the essence of the frontier, a place where boundaries blur, where endings fold into beginnings, and where every step taken is part of a larger journey, woven into the endless tapestry of life. Morning light filters softly through the dusty panes, painting the air with shimmering motes. Silent dancers in a quiet ballet. Each particle holds a story, a fragment of yesterday's echoes and today's promise. This gentle glow breathes life into the stillness, reminding us that even in the humblest places, beauty endures. The horseshoe, cracked and rusted, hangs as a symbol of luck and journey. It bears the scars of countless miles, of relentless travel across unforgiving lands. More than metal and nails, it is a talisman, a quiet guardian for those who dare to roam, a humble charm against the unknown. Laughter ripples through the air like a hidden current, unexpected, spontaneous, breaking through the weight of hardship. It is the music of resilience, the sound of souls refusing to be broken, finding joy in the moment, and hope amidst uncertainty. In laughter, the saloon breathes life anew. The empty glass holds a quiet absence, the ghost of a drink once shared, of conversations begun and paused, of fleeting connections and stories yet untold. In its stillness, it invites reflection on moments past and those yet to come. The sign sways in the breeze, its faded letters whispering tales of welcome and warning. It is a beacon to the weary and the curious, a threshold to a world of stories, where lives intersect and destinies entwine. Though battered by time, its message endures, an invitation to step inside and be part of the unfolding saga. In this quiet corner, solitude meets contemplation. It is a refuge from the noise, a place where thoughts gather and memories settle. Here, the weight of the world softens, and the soul finds space to breathe, to remember, to dream, to heal. The key lies heavy with meaning, a silent keeper of secrets and stories locked away. Its jagged teeth are worn from use, shaped by countless turns and trials. More than metal, it is a symbol of trust and power, of boundaries drawn and crossed, and of the mysteries hidden just beyond reach. The howl pierces the night, a wild cry echoing across the vastness. It is a voice of solitude and belonging, of nature's untamed spirit. In that haunting sound lies both warning and welcome, a reminder that the wilderness watches, that freedom is found on the edge of the unknown. The ceiling wears its history in smoky stains, a testament to countless nights of fire and fervor. It has borne witness to tales told and secrets shared, to laughter ringing loud and whispered confessions. Its darkened timbers hold the weight of memories, woven deep into the fabric of the saloon's soul. The night stretches endlessly, a vast canvas of stars shimmering in silent grace. It invites reflection and rest, a sacred space where the weary heart can find peace. Under this infinite sky, the human spirit breathes freely, connected to the cosmos, to the past, to the promise of tomorrow. The campfire breathes softly in the night, its flames alive with ancient rhythms, a timeless dance of light and shadow. It holds the warmth of countless gatherings, where stories flowed like the crackling sparks, binding strangers with the threads of shared experience. In its glow, there is comfort, a sanctuary from the vast, unknowable wilderness. The saddle blanket, faded yet vibrant, carries the mark of culture and care. Each thread woven with intention, each pattern telling tales of home, heritage, and identity, cushions the journey, a soft embrace between rider and mount, a symbol of connection across the rugged frontier. The cactus stands resolute, a sentinel of survival in arid lands. Its spines guard precious water, its form a quiet testament to resilience. In harshness, it thrives, a symbol of endurance against all odds. It whispers the frontier's harsh truth. Life persists where it is fiercely claimed. The nail, bent and rusted, once held steadfast the link between horse and path. Its corrosion speaks of time's steady march, of journeys completed and promises kept. Small and overlooked, it is yet a vital piece of the frontier's machinery, holding together the fragile fabric of movement and hope. The town stands silhouetted against the fading light, a cluster of dreams carved from wood and dust. Each building holds the pulse of human endeavor. Shops, saloons, homes, a fragile oasis amidst vast wilderness. Here, civilization and wildness intertwine, a delicate balance of hope and hardship. Steam rises from the cup in gentle spirals, a quiet promise of warmth and wakefulness. Coffee fuels the dawn, an elixir for the weary, a ritual of beginnings. In its bitter taste lies comfort, a small, steady flame to ignite the day's journey. In the chill of morning, horses breathe clouds of mist, silent exhalations of life and strength. Their presence is steady, grounding, a tether to the natural world, to rhythms older than human memory. They carry us forward, partners in the endless journey. Pages yellow with age hold careful accounts, names, debts, credits, the flow of frontier commerce. Each line a thread in the fabric of daily survival, a record of trust and transaction, hope and hardship entwined. This ledger is a silent witness to the delicate dance of community and economy. The road winds endlessly ahead, a ribbon of dust curling into the unknown. It calls to the restless spirit, to those who dare to seek, to leave, to arrive. Each step forward is both an ending and a beginning, a movement that shapes destiny. One dusty mile at a time, night settles softly over the town, wrapping it in a cloak of quiet and calm. The bustle fades, and in the stillness, there is space for rest and renewal. Here, beneath the vast and tender sky, the frontier sleeps, ready to greet the dawn once more. The lantern's glow softens with the coming dawn, a tender farewell to the night's watchful vigil. It is a symbol of hope carried through darkness, a quiet guardian of dreams and secrets. As light spills over the horizon, the promise of a new day unfolds, full of possibility, of challenge, and of quiet grace. Impressions left in the mud, the silent testament to movement, to passage and purpose. Each track holds the weight of journeys taken, of destinations sought, and of the tireless spirit pressing onward. They map the story of connection between rider, horse, and the vast open land. The gloves bear the texture of toil, creased and cracked by sun and labor. They have gripped reins and tools, shaped the land and wrestled with fate. More than protection, they are symbols of endurance, of hands that build and sustain. Within their fibers lies the story of steadfast resolve. Smoke spirals upward, a delicate thread connecting earth and sky. It carries the sense of warmth and survival, of meals shared beneath open heavens. In its ephemeral dance, there is a quiet communication, a signal sent into the vastness, a story told in swirling grace. The fence stands as a boundary and a promise, a line drawn between wilderness and home. Its weathered boards speak of seasons past, of hands that built and maintained. Though worn, it remains steadfast, a marker of place and belonging, a silent guardian of the fragile order carved from wildness. The fireplace breathes warmth into the room, its embers glowing with a steady heart. It is a hearth of comfort and connection, a gathering place for stories, for rest and for renewal. In its gentle light, the world feels tender and whole, even amid the harshness beyond the walls. Shadows flicker and play upon the walls, silent actors in the theater of night. They move with the rhythm of the flame, shifting shapes that hint at mystery and memory. In their fluid grace lies the pulse of human presence, the interplay of light and dark, of seen and unseen, of story told and story imagined. The chill of morning settles softly, a delicate touch on leaf and wood. It reminds the land and its people of nature's quiet cycles, of endings folded gently into beginnings. In the frost's embrace, there is a hush, where breath is held, and the heart listens to the world's slow song. Footprints trace a path across the earth, each step a story left behind, a whisper in the dust. They mark the traveler's journey, the movement between places, between past and future. In their fading shapes, there is the echo of longing, the search, of the endless quest for home. The river holds a mirror to the twilight, its surface still and deep. In its quiet reflection, the world finds pause and presence. It invites contemplation, a gentle reminder that beneath the surface, there is depth and clarity, waiting to be seen. Here, in the soft embrace of evening, the soul can rest, and the heart can dream. The cracked pottery shard lies quietly in the earth, a fragment of a story long past, its edges worn smooth by years of wind and rain. It speaks of hands that shaped clay with care, of meals shared and moments lived, now resting silently beneath the vast sky. A humble witness to human passage and memory. The spur hangs heavy with history, its rusted frame echoing the rhythm of countless rides. It is a symbol of motion and command, a tool of guidance and will. Though time has claimed its shine, it still holds the spirit of journeying, of perseverance across endless trails, and of the bond between rider and steed. The hat tilts, caught in the breath of the wind, a silent sentinel on the edge of the world. It carries the imprint of sun and storm, of long days and quiet nights. More than a garment, it is a companion to the wanderer, a shield and a symbol, woven deeply into the fabric of frontier life. Cards slide and coins clink in the smoky haze. A game of chance and strategy unfolds. The flickering candle casts long shadows, a dance of risk and reward, of fortunes made and lost beneath the saloon's dim light. Here, fate is dealt hand by hand, and every player wears the weight of possibility. Whispers drift between the worn walls, secrets shared in hushed tones, trust exchanged beneath veiled gazes. In these quiet moments, alliances are forged, plans laid with careful words, and the pulse of hidden lives beats softly, unseen yet ever present. The scorched matchstick lies spent, its brief flare a spark against the dark. Though short-lived, its light was a catalyst, igniting warmth, illumination, and hope. It reminds us that even the smallest flame can cast long shadows, and that moments of brightness are treasures to be cherished. The owl watches silently, eyes gleaming with ancient wisdom. A guardian of the night, it moves unseen, bearing witness to secrets the darkness holds. In its stillness, there is power, a reminder that observation and patience are as vital as action. The mug bears the marks of time. A crack here, a chip there, yet still it serves. It holds the remnants of countless mornings, of rituals performed in quiet solitude, and of moments shared in camaraderie. In its imperfection lies resilience, a testament to enduring utility and spirit. The lone tree stands resolute, rooted deep in parched soil. It is a symbol of steadfastness, of life carved from hardship. Against the vast expanse, it offers shade and shelter, a quiet reminder that even in solitude, strength can be found. The saloon doors swing shut, closing on the day's stories and struggles. Behind them, laughter fades, voices soften, and the space holds its breath. Yet, within these walls, the echoes linger, a tapestry woven of life's raw and tender moments, waiting patiently for dawn's return. The prairie awakens beneath a veil of mist, a quiet shroud that softens the world's edges, blurring the line between earth and sky. In this gentle embrace, the vastness breathes slowly, offering a moment of stillness before the sun's warmth stirs the day to life. The tattered flag whispers of battles fought, of ideals held tight against the relentless wind. Its worn fabric carries the weight of memory, a symbol both fragile and fierce, standing as a testament to endurance, to hope carried forward through storms. The stream flows steadily, a lifeline carved by time's patient hand. It carries reflections of sky and leaf, songs of earth and stone. In its endless movement, there is a story of renewal, of life sustained and journeys continued, whispering softly beneath the sun's gaze. The lantern's flame flickers in rhythm, a pulse of light in the encompassing dark. Shadows twist and turn, a quiet performance of shape and silence. Within this dance lies the essence of refuge, a small sanctuary of warmth and hope. Amidst the vast unknown, footprints trace the margin where water meets land, a fleeting imprint of presence and passage. They speak of journeys taken, of moments paused beside the flowing current, and of the eternal conversation between earth and traveler. Each step is both a claim and a release, marking the boundary of here and there. The lock clasps tightly, guarding treasures both known and forgotten. Its rusted form tells of time's slow assault, of secrets held fast beneath layers of dust and shadow. More than a mechanism, it is a sentinel of stories, of trust and mystery, of boundaries drawn and crossed. Wildflowers sway with graceful abandon, their colors vibrant against the muted earth. They are the frontier's delicate rebels, thriving where others falter. In their movement, there is a lesson of beauty born in resilience and life that flourishes despite hardship. The distant storm gathers, its voice a low rumble on the edge of hearing. Lightning flashes, momentarily unveiling the raw power of nature's breath. It is a reminder of forces beyond control, of the wild heart beating beneath calm surfaces, and of the eternal dance between chaos and order. The saddle waits in silent stillness, a companion paused between journeys. It carries the imprint of countless rides, of miles traveled beneath open skies. In its quiet presence, there is anticipation, the promise of movement, of stories yet to unfold on the horizon. The stars shimmer with ancient light, witnesses to countless nights and countless dreams. They hang as beacons, guides through darkness, symbols of the infinite and the eternal. Under their gaze, the frontier breathes deeply, a place of endings and beginnings, of hope inscribed in the cosmos itself. The old wagon will rest silently in the dust, its cracked spokes a testament to countless journeys. It once turned steadily over rough terrain, bearing burdens and dreams alike. Now still, it whispers of movement, of passage through time and space, of the unending human drive to explore, to endure. The campfire's glow pulses softly, a heart beating in the stillness. It gathers those around it into a shared circle, where warmth meets shadow, and stories rise with the smoke. Here, under the vastness of night, human connection kindles, and the flicker of hope endures. The lone rider cuts a solitary figure against the fading light, a silhouette etched in gold and shadow. they move forward, a symbol of independence and quiet resolve, carrying the spirit of the frontier. Into the closing day, each step forward is a choice, to face the unknown with steady heart. The boots stand patiently, worn and weathered by miles of toil. They have walked paths of hardship and hope, bearing witness to the stories of those who wore them. Though marked by time, they remain steadfast, symbols of perseverance and unyielding spirit. The wind whispers softly through the grasses, carrying tales from distant places. It moves unseen, yet its presence is felt, a breath of life stirring the stillness, a reminder that even in silence, the world is alive and ever-changing. The map, fragile and worn, holds the promise of discovery. Its faded lines trace routes once dreamed of, paths taken and roads yet unknown. It is both a guide and a memory, a paper vessel carrying the hopes of wanderers. Through the vastness of possibility, the river bends gently, its calm surface mirroring the world above. Here, the rush of life slows, inviting peace and reflection. In this quiet curve, there is a sacred pause, a moment where past and future meet, and the heart finds rest. The candle's flame dances delicately, a fragile beacon in the surrounding dark. It holds within its glow the power to comfort, to illuminate, to inspire. Though small, its light pushes back shadows, reminding us that hope often begins with the faintest spark. The mountain stands silent and tall, their silhouettes etched against the fading light. They are ancient guardians, witnesses to countless cycles of change. In their stoic presence, there is a sense of timelessness, a reminder of the enduring strength that shapes both land and spirit. The night sky stretches endlessly, a tapestry woven with countless stars, each light a story, a dream, a memory, illuminating the vast unknown. Beneath this cosmic canopy, we are both small and infinite, part of a universe that whispers of connection, wonder, and eternal possibility.